What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. A big thank you for coming back and joining me. Another episode of the Arsenal save. So if you've been with us for the past couple of episodes, you would have seen we have been in season 2. In the very last episode, we showed off the brand new signings that we made at the club as we went through the winter transfer window in the 23-24 season. In today's episode, we have pushed forwards to the 1st of June 2024, and that means that season 2 is now complete. And in today's episode, we're going to show off exactly how we have got to the 1st of June 2024, and that means running you through the schedule, the competition, showing you the league table and the cup progress that we have made. We are also going to have a quick look at the finances, the club vision, and show off the squad as we prepare to head into season 3 of the save. Right then, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's jump in. Let's start off with the schedule and show you how we've got on since the last episode. Okay, here we go. We have loaded up the schedule. So in the last episode, we had got to around the 2nd of February 2024, and that means that we had just gone through the Christmas period. We had come out of January in good form, and we rolled on into February. And luckily for us, we continued that good form. So the first game of February of 2024 was on the 7th of February, and we beat QPR 4-0 with goals from Odegaard, Cowell, Sobolai and Bukayo Saka. We then played against Blackpool in the FA Cup 4th round. We beat them 3-1. We had Caden Clark scoring, Saliba and Bellingham both actually scoring in injury time. It was a bit of a crazy game. And poor Cade Cowell getting himself a first red card in an Arsenal shirt. We played against Leicester back in the Premier League. We beat them 2-1 with goals from Dybala and Jared Branthwaite. So we are becoming lastminute.com because every goal is seemingly scored in added on time at the end of the game, but it's obviously not a bad thing when you're picking up 3 points. We beat Crystal Palace 2-1 with goals from Jesus and Xhaka. Odsonne Edouard scoring for Palace with a penalty. We then moved into Champions League football and we rounded out February unbeaten by drawing 1-1 in the away leg in the Champions League round of 16. Trigueros scoring for Villarreal, equalising after Gabriel Jesus had given us the lead after 10 minutes. We then beat Wolves 1-0 in the 5th round of the FA Cup to progress in that. And then we had a 5-0 victory against Brentford. So starting off March with 2 wins from 2. Gabriel Jesus getting 2, Zinchenko scoring and Saliba also getting 2 goals in that game. And we continued our fine run of form with a 2-1 victory against Fulham. Jesus scoring both goals, but Granit Xhaka getting himself sent off there, which was a little bit crazy. We then carried on by beating Villarreal 3-1. In the home leg of the Champions League, Smith Rowe getting 2 and Bukayo Saka with the other goal, Gerard Moreno scoring for Villarreal. We then beat Reading 1-0 in the FA Cup quarter-final with a goal from Charlie Patino after 87 minutes. We then played Tottenham in the North London derby and we beat them 2-0 with goals from Saka and Junior Adamu. We're going to show you some goals from that game. Both goals coming late on. It was a pretty even affair until we got the first goal and then we kind of took over the game. So let's have a quick run through of both of those goals. First goal, we moved the ball around well. Bellingham over the top to Sambi Lokonga, who plays it across the box. And the smallest player on the pitch getting up at the back post to head it past Tottenham's goalkeeper, I believe it's still Hugo Lloris. For the second goal, another long ball over the top. Dybala gets it on the left, crosses it in, and there's Junior Adamu with the bicycle style kick to smash it home. And yeah, it's Hugo Lloris in goal, and he couldn't deal with that finish either. So 3 points against Tottenham and a really good game in that North London derby. So we moved on then. We were drawn against Real Madrid in the Champions League. Unfortunately for us, we went to Spain once again and we couldn't win once again. A 0-0 draw this time before a 0-0 draw in the Premier League. And then finally we were beaten, and this is the first game we have lost. Let's actually have a look where the last one was. So the last loss was against Southampton in that freakish 6-0 loss that we had on the 26th of November, and we went all the way till 17th of April 2024 when we lost to Real Madrid in the Champions League quarter-final second leg. Sobolai getting a goal for us, but Rodrigo too much for us as he ran the defence ragged. He got 2 goals and put us out of the Champions League. We then played in the FA Cup semi-final against Chelsea. We had a 2-2 draw that went all the way to penalties. Odegaard and Smith Rowe, Edson Alvarez and Raheem Sterling scoring for Chelsea. We beat Wolves 2-0 with goals from Bellingham and Granit Xhaka. And then we lost to Liverpool in a crazy game in the Premier League. Let's show you this game. So Darwin Núñez, getting a hat-trick. Martinelli and Dybala scoring the 2 goals for us. But the game was pretty crazy. As you can see, a scoreline of 3-2 suggests that it would be. There was 30 shots in total in the game and 17 on target. So Núñez opening the scoring with a penalty, smashing the ball into the bottom corner. We then hit back, Soboslai getting in behind, plays the ball into Martinelli, who chips it over Alisson Becker, who goes to ground. So at that point, it's 1-1 in the game. Then Liverpool go up the other end, 73 minutes on the clock now. Núñez with a nice header to Cato, plays it back into his path. Ramsdale probably should have been quicker off of his line to get there. Núñez smashes the ball home despite the VAR check. Dybala then scores with a free kick for ourselves to make it 2-2. And I thought we were going to cling on and get a point, but no. Unfortunately for us, Liverpool getting behind once again. Darwin Núñez smashes it home and we lost 3-2. But a really good game of football for everybody to watch. So that then moved us out of April and we were still pretty much in a title race. But looking into the future, you can see that it's going to be a little bit difficult to work out what happens. So we moved into May now, and we are in a good run of form in the start of May, beating Brighton 3-1, Aston Villa 2-1 and West Ham 1-0. Left us playing Newcastle where we got a 2-2 draw, and it left us going toe-to-toe with Manchester City to decide where the Premier League would end up, and we got a 2-2 draw. It's not the result that we wanted, but yeah, we'll show you what happened in terms of the league in just a second. In terms of the FA Cup, though, we got our revenge on Liverpool. After losing 3-2 to them in the league, we beat them 3-2 in the FA Cup final. Let's have a little look at some goals from that one. Again, loads of shots in this game. There was a total of 41 shots, I think that said. 6 more goals, so both of us going for it. Martinelli tries the cross there. Zinchenko crosses in. Dybala with the finish. Nice little toe poke past the goalkeeper there. And then Xhaka plays the ball forwards. Martinelli gets in behind. He's running at the defence. Instead, he just smashes it first time. Top corner. Alisson can't get there. So we were looking quite comfortable at this point. And then Liverpool kind of woke up. Trent with the ball into Thiago. Plays it to the back post. And there's Luis Diaz with a finish to bring them back into the game. And then in the second half, we then pushed on. Odegaard with the ball down the right hand side, crosses it in, and there is Granit Xhaka, of all people, to get the headed goal to give us a 3-1 lead. But Liverpool made lives difficult for us by pushing on in the second half, and Jones with the pass across goal falls to Harvey Elliott, who just absolutely rockets the ball into the back of the net. But luckily for us, that was enough for us to cling on and win the FA Cup. So, you know we have won the FA Cup. What happened in the Premier League? Let's go to the competitions tab and find out. We go then in the competitions tab. You can see that we have won the Premier League. Yes, in just the second season, we have become winners of the Premier League, winning the title by 2 points from both Manchester City and Liverpool. We have ended the season on a high. Champions League, we got knocked out in the quarterfinals. You would have just seen that running through the schedule. In the FA Cup, we won that competition, getting our revenge against Liverpool, 3-2 winners in the final. In the Carabao Cup, we were knocked out in the third round by Tottenham. So, the Premier League itself, let's break it down a little bit. You can see from this screen, our win-loss record is play 38, won 26, 9 drawn, 3 losses, a 37 goal difference, which is something we really are going to have to look to address in the third season. We did get 87 points though, which is not a bad amount at all. In real life, obviously, teams are now going on into the 90s, so in another year those 9 draws might have cost us the league, but we don't care. We've just won the Premier League. To break it down slightly further, if we go to stages, you can see here that, as I said, our win-loss record was 126, draw 9, lost 3, with a goal difference of 37. Now, we actually scored 64 goals, which is not terrible. It's the same amount of goals as Leeds, who have finished in 5th place, and the teams directly below us have scored more. I mean, Liverpool scoring 88 goals in a single season is mind-blowing. But the one thing that does hold us in good stead is we only conceded 27 goals, and that is joint top of the Premier League fewest conceded with Manchester City. So we're obviously going in the right direction in terms of the defending. We did make a little tweak or two at the end of the season in terms of the tactic to try and get us more goals, to put us on the front foot more often. So going into season 3, it'll be interesting to see how that will affect the team. Obviously, we'll show you the squad later and we'll have a little look at how the roles have changed. But going forwards, it's a Premier League win. It doesn't matter how it's come. We have got there and we are over the line in 1st place. Looking at the stats then, you can see Ivan Toney has led the way in terms of goals, 26 of those. Erling Haaland on 24, Scamacca on 21 and Raul Jimenez on 20. So a few players there that interest me. Toney might be a player to look at in the future if the price is right. Scamacca consistently scoring goals in the Premier League. Yeah, I think he has appeared in both of the top goal scorers in the 2 seasons that we have now completed. Looking at the other stats, average ratings, Mo Salah. Assists, Mo Salah. Player of the match, Mo Salah. No need to say anything there. Mo Salah is fantastic. Clean sheets, 21 for Aaron Ramsdale is not bad. Obviously, as I said, our defensive record was good, so probably be obvious that the goalkeeper would have had a lot of clean sheets. Luca Digne, 16 yellow cards, makes him top of that pile. Distance covered per 90 minutes is Kelvin. 15.37 kilometres covered per 90 minutes for Leeds United. Matt Target in terms of the tackles per 90 minutes, and then in terms of dribbles per 90 minutes, you've got Kieran Tierney and Bukayo Saka in the top 3. So all in all, in terms of the Premier League, a fantastic season. We have really pushed ourselves to the limits, and we have took those 2 that we were behind last season and leapfrogged them through real hard work and determination. So, as I said, in the Champions League we had been knocked out by Real Madrid. The final hasn't been played, but it's a Classico. I might bring you up to date in the next episode as to who won that, but not that important because we're not part of it. In terms of the FA Cup then, let's break that down, how we got to the final and won. So, coming in the 3rd round, we played against Sheffield Wednesday. We won 4-1. In the 4th round, we played against Blackpool and won 3-1. In the 5th round, played against Wolves and won 1-0. Quarterfinals, played against Reading, we won 1-0 with a changed squad there. Semi-finals, played against Chelsea, we drew 2-2 and went through fortunately on penalties. And then in the final, as I said, getting our revenge on Liverpool as we won 3-2. So in the 2nd season of the Save, we have managed to do a domestic double. We've won the Premier League, we have won the FA Cup. So obviously the next step is to try and go after the Champions League. Right then, that is season 2 complete. It's in the books. What we're going to do now is have a little look at the finances and see what's in the transfer kitty for next season and show the club vision. And then we're going to also move on to the squad. So let's jump into the finances and see what we're going to be playing with for next season. So after a successful season on the pitch, we now have £127.5 million in the bank, and they are going to give us £87.1 million to go out and spend on reinforcements. Now, the squad obviously is now a Premier League winning and FA Cup winning team, so we probably don't need wholesale changes, but we're going to start going down that path of if there's a player out there that is the right price, like Dybala was, we'll just go out and try and buy that type of player and add quality to a squad that is already in a good place. So no need to go out and make drastic buys. Don't want squad fillers anymore because we can now start to rely on the youth that's at the club. Yeah, £87.1 million. It's going to be interesting what we can get for that money. Plus, I think there'll be 1 or 2 players that leave the club. I think Reece Nelson might be on his way out because he just wanted to leave, and I'm pretty sure he is asked to go. So there's going to be a few players around the fringes of the squad that will be moved on to generate more money too. In terms of the wage budget, a £3.5 million wage budget. So we're doing okay. We're spending 3.2 on wages at the moment. We have a £3.5 million wage budget to play with. So we're going to have enough there in the kitty, I'm sure. Onto the club vision then. So, starting off with the board's feedback. So, they're still disappointed about increasing commercial revenue. I don't know really what I can do about this. We are winning or we have won the Premier League. We got to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. We've won the FA Cup. We're doing our bit on the pitch. Seems like they want more money from elsewhere. Working within the wage budget, on course. Sign players to sell for a profit, satisfied. And grow the club's reputation, pleased. So we are at least doing one of those things. In terms of the 5-year plan, so at the end of next season, they want us to reach the latter stage of the Champions League. And they want to qualify for the Champions League again. So pretty decent. Good expectations from the board. Looking at the board's feedback for this current season then. We have got a B+. The board are very pleased with your overall leadership of the team. Last season's successes remain fresh in our memories, and our appraisal of your current performance takes that into account. So, the board culture now, they do not want to sign players over the age of 30. Play entertaining football, play high tempo pressing football. So they're reserving judgment on a few things there. Obviously, as I said, we have tweaked the tactics slightly, so we are now playing some more entertaining football, a bit more adventurous. Play high tempo pressing football. It's difficult to get entertaining and high pressing in the same thing. It's kind of transitional play, and we'll do that if we can. Notable highlights then. Delight with the financial aspect of the Jerry Sage signing. I think Jerry Sage, is he not a regen or a new gen? Interesting. So, the board are pleased that we signed 15-year-old Jerry Sage, who is valued at 4.3 to 7.2 million pounds. Interesting. One to keep an eye on there. They're pleased with the FA Cup win over Liverpool, and they were pleased with the 3-1 victory against Brighton. But the board were disappointed about the 3-2 loss to Liverpool, even though we played really well. Disappointed about the Champions League second leg loss against Real Madrid, and they were disappointed about the 0-0 draw against Southampton. Can only imagine what they would have been about the 6-0 loss earlier on in the season then. In terms of supporters have given us a B+. They are pleased with the job we are doing. And now they wanting to play attacking football, they're pleased. Play entertaining football, very pleased. Play high tempo pressing football, reserve judgment. So that's interesting because I think it was attacking football that they were complaining about last season. So we have changed it up, and now we are starting to please the supporters with the way we play football. So that's a good thing at least. Supporter expectations. Finish above Tottenham. Done. Finish above Man United. Done. Become the most reputable team in England. That's going to be a difficult one. Forge a higher reputation than Chelsea. Again, a difficult one. Champions League is going to play a lot in that, and they want us to qualify for the Champions League. In terms of their highlights, 3-1 victory against Brighton, 1-0 victory against West Ham, and the FA Cup were there. Notable highlights, the criticisms, 3-2 victory against Liverpool. Disappointed with the signing of Riley Green. Interesting. And they were also disappointed with the signing of Abubakar Tafis, which again is interesting because they're regens, not too sure what they want us really to do in terms of the regens and new gens, whatever they're called, coming through the club. But still, it's something that we can look at in the future. The players that we're going to be bringing in obviously are going to be first teamers, but this crop of players that are coming through in the background obviously will be now moving into the under-18s and the under-21s. So the only thing left to show you is the squad that we are building and how we can possibly change that going into Season 3. So we've loaded up the trusty squad planner as we're going to look through the squad and see roughly where we might need some reinforcements. So in terms of goalkeepers, Aaron Ramsdale is clear number one goalkeeper, now valued at 72 to 87 million pounds. Should be England's number one. Don't know whether with the World Cup coming he will be or not, but in my opinions, Aaron Ramsdale should be our number one goalkeeper. Going to left back, Kieran Tierney is our number one. Zinchenko, Tomiyasu, Branthwaite and Raujo. Raujo not really developing as I thought he might do. He has some raw potential, but obviously he's going to be given time at the age of 19. But he maybe is one that now needs to start kicking on because it's a position that we really could take another left back in. I mean, we've got Zinchenko's 27, Tierney's 26. We've got Tomiyasu, who's really a right back. Can play there as a makeshift, but don't really want him to. And Branthwaite. Looking at the central defenders then, so these are the same for the three across the board. We've got Saliba, White, Gabriel, Tomiyasu. Then we've got Tierney, who's a wing-back. He shouldn't really be in there. Branthwaite is a utility player who can play in all of the positions, so not too fussed about him being there. Omar Rakik, I think he's going to be moved on in the summer. Austin Trusty will be the same. Then we got Brian Ocko, Digberako, and Araujo really shouldn't be on that list either. So the kids who are there will be getting their chances as we go forwards. And then the three at the top are our best three centre-backs. Holding midfielders then, so we've got Odegaard, Bellingham, Zinchenko, Lokonga, Xhaka, Patino, Holmand, Endor and Mbamba. They are all players that are going to be fine going forwards. No real wholesale changes will be coming in the middle of the park, I don't think. I mean, when we show you the Mazzala, the list is the same. The midfielder on the left, which has changed slightly. I will just have a quick brief look at the tactic after I've done this. On the right side then, so we've got Saka, Szoboszlai, Smith Rowe. As I said, Reece Nelson I think will be off in the summer. We've also got Zinchenko can play there. De La Fuente can play there. And Marcelo Flores hasn't impressed me as much as I thought he would. We're getting a lot of big bids for him in the first season. Hasn't really developed for what I wanted him to be in terms of this save. On the left hand side we've got Saka, who probably won't play there, but looking a bit further down we've got Jesus, Martinelli, Dybala, Smith Rowe, Szoboszlai, Cunha, De La Fuente, Caden Clark, Cade Cowell. They are all players that can play in that position, so probably don't need strengthening there unless somebody exceptional comes along. And then we got Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli, Dybala, Cunha, Adamu, all at the top of the pitch. We also have Johnny Kenny, who we signed also. So in terms of attacking options, I do think we could get one or two more in. You obviously saw by the league table and that disappointing 37 goal difference, we do need a striker of some sort, whether it be one that comes in and just plays behind Gabriel Jesus in terms of the pecking order, or whether we start to move Gabriel Jesus maybe onto the left and try and get an out-and-out goal scorer. It's something we're going to have to look at in the summer. Quickly to show you the tweaks on the tactic then. So we've now moved Szoboszlai out of a BWM into a central midfield role. It's just basically, it's on automatic so he can go forwards and backwards, can just fill gaps that are left in behind Martinelli. And also now we're trying to force the issue with getting the ball to the strikers a little bit quicker. So hopefully once it all comes around, we will have a good enough squad where we can build into the tactic and gain that mobility from the central midfield positions. Right then, that is pretty much me done in terms of a roundup of Season 2. It's been a very, very successful season. We have won the Premier League, we have won the FA Cup, and we definitely have things to build on. £87 million in the bank. I'm going to try and spend as much of that as I possibly can. Right then, if you're still here, you're still listening to me, you've enjoyed today's episode, the first thing I need you to do is hit the thumbs up, hit that like button, hit the subscribe so you don't miss another episode of the Arsenal Save. And also, if you feel that you need to leave a comment in the box down below, do so. I will try and get back to all of them as I can. But for this one, I'm going to wrap it there. Before I do go, don't forget to check out other things on the channel. We have tactics, we have Wonder Kids, we have Let's Plays. There's a little something for everybody, and I'm pretty sure you will find a video that you like. But for this one, I'm going to wrap it there. Come back on the next episode as we step into Season 3 and try and defend our Premier League title.